Welcome to the Dream Castle Podcast, and this is the KOF 13 character series where we talk about a single character with the players that play them. And in this episode, we're talking about Duolon with Sir Octopus. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? Happy to be here again.
Yes, sir. And we're talking about Duolon, and let's just get right into it. Can you give me just a brief little summary on Duolon, on his kind of play style and stuff like that?
Well, Duolon, as you've already seen in a couple of other KOF fighting games, in this version that we have, he's actually one of the most versatile and fastest characters in the game. Basically, he relies on pokes for most of his damage because since he is a really fast character, they usually don't deal a lot of damage. So basically, as I said, he relies heavily on his pokes and his ability to transition himself from one side of the screen to the other.
Okay, yeah, he sounds rather tricky, and from what I experienced, he is pretty tricky.
Yeah, he has a lot of high-low mix-ups. He can change your guard as you're waking up. So even though he has a limited set of moves, or actually, well, every character has limited. But in this case, Duolon only has like two or three moves where he can deal damage with. Even though he only has a couple of moves, he's still not able to be labeled as predictable because he does have a lot of high-low mix-ups.
Right. Okay. Cool. Compared to other characters, what are his strengths besides some of the things you just mentioned?
His strengths, they rely heavily also on the EX moves, which have auto-target or GPS, as we like to call them. Basically, they can nail you anywhere on the screen, as long as you're in the ground or near the ground. He has a slow projectile that he releases and can just run after it, allowing him to take damage. If he wants to, he can take damage for the trait of the ghost and just go ahead and deal like 300 damage from it. Also, his limbs actually stretch really far, about 3/4 of one quarter of the screen. That also goes for the aerial attacks. So he can keep you out or just be in your face all the time.
Okay. What are his weaknesses?
Weaknesses, as I mentioned before, the low damage output that he has. His HD combos don't really deal a lot of damage, since most of the hits that he does in the HD combo are going to be like 30 to 35 damage. He scales the damage really fast.
Okay, cool. What else? Like, from what I understand, like, does he have trouble against any kind of like hops or jumps or anything like that? Like, how's his like defense?
Well, the only trouble that I've really had are gonna be against King, because he cannot zone King out. Whenever she does a fireball, you're not gonna be able to do the front forward. That would be a little kick that comes out of the ground, because as King is throwing the fireball, she's actually in the air.
Yeah.
Just so she's not worried about that. Also, he doesn't deal really well against pressure, unless he has a couple of stocks in order to get out of it.
Okay. All right, cool. So I guess you need pretty good blocking skills if you're going to get rushed down, or you need to rush down.
Blocking skills or just not get cornered.
Yeah, okay. Cool. All right, why don't we start with his normals, and we're going to start with his Stand A, which is Stand Light Punch.
Yeah, Stand Light Punch. That actually whiffs on the characters. I don't know if it whiffs against Raiden. I haven't tried it, but it should whiff against most characters. So it's not really good as a poke as you're in close range, because if it whiffs, you're actually at a disadvantage where it does take a little bit of a couple of frames to recover. Also, it doesn't change the animation if you're close or in far range. So you might as well just use it for anti-airing. You can anti-air the hops or do like a long poke and combo into anything like a Rekka, which is gonna be the quarter circle forward with a punch.
Mhm.
The 3 reps. If it misses the first one, you can just do the second one, and it's going to hit even though the first one whiffed. Uh, Also, it comes out a little bit slower, but a little bit further than the crouching version.
Okay, cool. All right, next is the standing light kick or stand B.
The standing light kick hits low, just as King and Shin also hits low, also Yori. It doesn't come out really fast, but you can use it as a media attack when the opponent's waking up. So you can link from it like a standing C or any light punch into the previous hit, or in this case the meaty standing B. You can leave it there. You can combo it to a special attack, but you cannot combo off of it for a normal attack. So in this case, if you try to press the standing B into standing A, you're not going to get that combo. But you can get the standing B into the Rekkas or into the forward A, forward B.
Okay, you said it hits low like King and Shin or Chin?
Shin.
Shin?
Yeah, the drunk guy.
Oh, Chin. Okay, it sounds like you said Shin, Shin Woo.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
Okay, all right, cool. I was just clarifying it. All right, cool, man. All right, why don't we get into his stand C, which is a stand heavy punch.
Okay, stand C doesn't change if you're hitting close range or if you're just trying stand C out, such as Kyo's does change the animation from close range to far range. Duolon's doesn't change. The only one that changes is going to be the standing B. So talking about stand C, it's just going to be like a quick palm. It doesn't have a lot of range, so don't use it unless you're in front of the opponent or want to counter poke, like Billy's quarter circle forward, the far stick that he throws. You can just let out the standing C, and it's going to hit Billy or any other character that has a long limbs or anything like that. So you can use it as a counter poke, but don't throw it out too much because you can get a jump in, and it can be canceled into any special.
All right. Well, next we'll talk about his the stand D, stand heavy kick, and that's that knee, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a knee that it is useful if you're getting pressured. And say if you're getting close pressure, just throw it out there, and it's gonna stop most of the hops, even if they throw anything out. And it's actually better if they throw a hit or anything like that, because you can get the standing D, and even though it's not gonna cause a soft knockdown or a hard knockdown, it's gonna be in a counter state, so you can do the Rekkas real quick, and it's going to pick up the opponent, allowing you to combo off of it. Also, it's going to be a little bit slower than the standing C. Standing C is going to be your primary tool in order to start punished combos, but standing D drives you a little bit forward as opposed to the standing C. So in this case, if you do standing C into forward A into the Rekkas, you're only going to get the second hit. You're not going to get the first Rekka hit. But if you use standing D into forward A, you're going to get the 3 hits because it's standing D is going to drive you forward.
Oh wow! Okay, that's a rather interesting fact, man.
Yeah, another thing is that when you do a low a crouching A, you can get the standing C or standing D as a link.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that either. All right, and next we're going to talk about the far D, and that is kind of like his little spin kick, correct?
Yeah, a spin kick. It cannot be canceled into any special or any command special. I'm sorry, command normal. but it is useful against counter pokes and against hops. It doesn't have a really high recovery time, so you can just throw it out there whenever you think you can expect a hop or a poke. And if you land a hit, you can just go ahead and go into HD mode and start a combo from it.
Oh, cool. All right. I didn't know that was even possible.
Yeah, you can just do the standing D, and if you land a hit, if you land a hit, it's still gonna be in the active frames, obviously. So you need to go into HD mode like really quick, because if you go into HD mode late or when the recovery in the recovery time of the spinning kick, Duolon is not going to dash forward. He's just gonna do a standing C, which is gonna ruin the whole HD combo.
Hmm. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's the same for every character.
Right. Okay. And next is we're gonna go into his crouching normals, and we're gonna start with um, this move I really don't like because it's so good. Is crouch light punch.
Yeah, crouch A, really fast at startup, and it actually leaves you at a great advantage. I believe it's going to be 4 frames on block. Uh, yeah, it's going to be 4 frames on block and 4 frames on startup. So it's actually one of the fastest normals that you can get in the game. It's going to be it actually has a low hit detection, but it's well, it's a little bit ambiguous because in this case, say Shin, when Shin goes into the stance for when it drops to its belly, it's going to become invulnerable to any mid attack or any high attack, and it's only going to become vulnerable to any low detection hits. So in this case, Shen Wu, it's going to miss if you do a low A. It's still going to whiff. But this is not the case with Duolon. This is the only character that I've seen that can hit Shin when he's in the ground stance.
Mm-hmm.
It does hit a low hit detection, but it can be guarded with the normal guard. You don't need to do the down forward. I'm sorry, the down back in order to guard it. It's gonna be one of your primary tools in order to start Rekka combos, where you can do three crouching A's into any Rekka or into the forward A or step forward B into a DM or anything like that. He's very versatile.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some ways around it, man? Because like I know sometimes like some people may experience people just kind of whipping it out, just like like how can they get away from it?
Okay, what I've seen that works, it's actually what I've seen against against a couple of players that I've played. They usually challenge it with down C. Say in this case with Shen, which is really fast, Shen Wu.
Yeah.
He's down C. It's a great anti-air. It has a really good horizontal hitbox. So anything like that, say if you're not in block stun, you can challenge it with anything that's 4 frames or 5 frames even. Say in this case, like a flash kick or Mr. Karate's down A. Also, with Elizabeth's down A, you can also challenge it. You can only challenge it when you're not in block stun or just about to go out of block stun. You can challenge it, but only do once a little bit outside your close range.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Next, we're gonna go into his crouching B or crouching light kick.
Crouching B, it really it sets Duolon really low to the ground. So if they do a jump in, you can just run really quick to the other side and catch the opponent as he's landing. As we all know, if you do a jump, you're gonna be vulnerable for the first couple of frames when you come down to the ground. So any low detection hit's gonna be able to initiate a combo. in this case for Duolon, if you do a low B, it's actually easier to go into HD mode than if you would do a low A, because it does have a couple of more active frames, which allows you to dash forward and start a combo from it. It has a little bit further range than the crushing A.
Okay. All right. Next, we're gonna talk about crouch C, which is a crouch heavy punch, and that's his big kind of like uppercut, right?
Yeah, that I usually when I use that, I always get reminded of Jashiro's, because
Ah.
it actually goes really high, but you can only cancel in the first active frames, just as you would do with Jashiro in any other game. It does have a really high recovery time, and it doesn't have a really good horizontal range. So I wouldn't advise it. Only use it if you're certain that you're going to land the hit, because otherwise they can just bait it out and start a long combo from it.
Okay. All right. And next, we're gonna talk about his sweep, his crouching D or crouching heavy kick.
Okay, crouching heavy kick. First of all, the crouching heavy punch can be canceled into any command normal or special. But talking about the sweep or the crouching D, that one can't be canceled into anything, even at DM. And it does have a long recovery time. It does reach really far. So you can use it for pressure, but it's recommended that you don't overuse it to try to punish it like a poke, or it's not recommended to use it as a poke either.
Okay. All right. And we're gonna go into his jumping normals, and we're gonna start with jump A, jump light punch.
Jump A, it's gonna be a little bit slower than his crushing A, but it does come really fast out of the air. You can use it as an air to air normal, but I usually do the jumping C. It's gonna be just one frame slower, but it does cover a lot of range. A lot of his hitbox is covered by the punch, as opposed to the jumping A, where it only has a little bit of horizontal edge and doesn't cover any high or low detections.
Okay, cool. And yeah, that jump A, that's vulnerable to any kind of like low profile attacks,
Yeah,
right? Okay. All right, cool. And next, we're gonna talk about the jump B, the jump light kick.
yeah. Jump B goes into a 45-degree angle. So it's actually really awesome that you can start combos from a light kick. In this case, the light kick and also the light air punch, they can be canceled into his forward A or forward B, allowing you to be able to land the the jumping B really high up, and from there connect with the forward B or forward A in order to confirm your hit as you're going down in order to start a combo. I use this a lot, the jumping B, in order to catch the opponent with the high-low mix-ups, because it comes out really fast. Well, not like really fast, but fast enough in order to be able to hit the opponent, and it covers a pretty good range for his horizontal and for his low profiles.
All right, cool. You talked a little bit about jump C, jump heavy punch. Is there anything else you like to add about it?
Yeah, just throw it out if you're going air to air. It can be canceled also into his forward A or forward B in the air.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right. Maybe that's why I was getting hit by something else after it hit or whatever. All right. Next is his jump D and jump heavy kick, and I have a lot of trouble against this move because I think it's pretty good. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, the standing D, I don't overuse it when I want to cross up. I only use, well, you can cross up with the jumping D, but it really depends if the because if the opponent is waking up and he decides to go like a frame forward or backward, you're not going to get the cross up. It again, it goes into like a 45-degree angle. It cannot be canceled into anything. But it's it really goes really low. So you can throw it out quick in the jump in and still be able to hit the opponent and be able to confirm off of it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, don't use it if you want to cross up. I'll only use it as a poke or to start combos.
All right. All right. We're gonna go into his blowback attacks, and we're gonna start with his stand CD.
Oh yeah, don't get me started with the blowback. Uh, well, with the blowback, you can actually do uh, three crouching A's. Then you can do the blowback for more guard pressure. The blowback actually drives you a little bit forward, just as the close D would do. So if you're like in the range where you're not gonna get the Rekka for in order to punish or to start the guard pressure, you can start CD from a far range and just empty cancel it. And just empty canceling is just be able to cancel the standing blowback into any move that you want without having to hit the opponent. So just do a standing blowback into the Rekka, and you're gonna see there's a really noticeable difference as if you would do the Rekka alone. This way you can start the pressure or be able to punish from far range. Also, if you're grabbing the opponent on wake up or when the opponent's just falling out of the air, you can do a standing CD or standing blowback at the side of the opponent, just a really close range, and do the Rekka in the opposite direction. So instead of doing corner circle forward, you're gonna do corner circle back, and you're gonna see that your character, or in this case Duolon, is gonna do the Rekka from the opposite side. So it's gonna grab the opponent off guard.
Yeah, it catches everyone off guard, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna release a video along with this, and just I'll hope I can be able to link it to the podcast, so you can see in a graphic nature what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, that's pretty much a glitch, right? The whole kind of warping thing on the grounded opponent, right?
Well, it's actually not a glitch, because if you remember the 98 KOF or 2002, XIII was able to do that as well because she drove herself forward with the standing CD.
Okay.
It's a game mechanic.
Oh, okay, all right. It still looks glitchy, man. But I guess it fits Duolon's kind of style or whatever, as a character, that he has his teleports and stuff that we're gonna talk about later. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting kind of ability he can do, and would you recommend someone that's starting with him to try to learn that trick?
Yeah, you can just whip it out say any other time, but don't always cancel for the Rekkas. You can if you're only smelling that they're gonna do a flash kick or like a DP, instead of going to the Rekka, you can cancel into the EX teleport, which is gonna be completely invincible from startup, and you can just go ahead and punish from there.
Oh wow!
Or just do the standing CD, and if they try to counter with anything, and they don't get it, and you do get the hit in a corner hit, you can just go ahead and do a Desperation move, which is gonna catch the opponent every time.
Wow.
and you can start a vortex from there, which is after the Desperation move hits, it's gonna leave you exactly in the same position.
Man, that's crazy. All right. Well, when we talk about jump CD, man, do you have any thoughts about this attack?
The jumping blowback does deal a lot of guard damage, and it comes out really fast in the air. So if you're going air to air, either do jumping C or jumping blowback, because if you do get a counter hit, and you're almost at the corner, you can just start doing a couple of ghosts, and it's going to catch the opponent, and you can start a full combo from it.
Oh wow!
And it's cancelable in the air into forward A, forward B, or into the EX versions.
Oh wow! Cool. All right. Why don't we talk about his normal throw? And yeah, are there any kind of good uses after his normal throw that you could share?
Yeah, normal throw is advisable if you have the opponent cornered. I usually do the D version, which is gonna drive him away from the corner, because this normal throw causes a hard knockdown, and it allows you to run over and do the standing CD close to the opponent, which we already talked about, which can lead to full combos or to ambiguous cross-ups.
Man, that sounds nasty as well.
Yeah, this is the only time that I try to do the jumping D cross-up, because I know where the opponent is, and I know how much time it takes for the opponent to wake up.
Okay, cool. All right, next we're going to get into his special moves, and we're going to start with his his like forward A and his forward B. Do they count more as like? It seems like they count more as special moves than command normals.
Yeah,
right?
that's correct. But I do have a theory about that, because they are command normals. In this case, the forward A, we're gonna talk about the forward A, which is gonna be a poke. It's gonna be like a stretched limb, which covers about 1/4 of the screen. But what I could see about this is they count as a special move only in the sense that you cannot do HD from him, or cannot go into HD mode, because to be honest, the character would be broken if you were able to activate HD from it. Be able to activate HD from standing from a forward A or forward B, talking about Duolon, would be actually pretty broken.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the forward A can be canceled into any special, and you can cancel from it from any normal move, any close range normal move, which allows you to extend combos or to confirm combos easier with an easier method.
Okay. Can someone hit that limb? You know.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does have a hurt box. So you can actually just you can throw it out if the opponent's on the ground, because it doesn't matter if they try to jump over it or try to hop over it. If it's already out, they're not going to be able to jump. It does have a pretty high hitbox, and pretty wide hurt box. So be careful not to throw it out against fireball or zoners.
Can someone like duck under it or slide under it?
They can't slide under it because the hit detection is gonna be mid. So any sweep, it's gonna be able to take him out. I've actually had trouble against Leona. Had trouble against a couple other characters that have a really far sweep, like Shin, and other characters with sweeps like King, Wa, and other stuff like that.
Okay. What are the differences with the ground EX version of the forward A?
The ground EX, it's gonna do 2 hits instead of 1, and if you get the second hit is going to bring the opponent to you instead of throwing him out of range. And if you do get the second hit, we're gonna talk about later about the ghost, the projectile that he has. But in this case, we're gonna take just a little bit of it. If you do the forward A, and you do get the second hit, you can throw out the ghost, the A version, and it is going to hit on a combo, and it allows you to combo out of it with a crouching A or standing A or anything like that.
All right, cool. All right, why don't we talk about the aerial version of the forward air? Like, what's the differences besides it being in the air?
Okay, it's faster than the grounded version, but basically the same principles. It's vulnerable to any hits, and it has a mid detection. So if you throw it in the air and the opponent's in the ground, he can grab you with the low normals and start a combo from it. So don't throw it unless you're doing a neutral jump or a backward jump. If you do a forward jump, you are gonna be vulnerable.
Okay, and is there a EX version to that?
Yeah, we also have the EX version, which again, as we were talking about, I was talking about Wa, where he does his EXDP. It actually cuts off any invincible animation that they may have in the air. Say in this case, if I do a jumping A, any character is going to become invincible, allowing you not to hit him again. But in this case, if you do the EX version for the forward A, it's going to take away that property that fallen character has. So you can you can jump and do the EX version, then you can jump again and do the EX version again as many times as you want, as many times as you're allowed, because the opponent's gonna be a little bit lower each time or each rep that you do.
Wow, I don't think I've seen that before, man.
Yeah, I usually do the jumping blowback, and if I hit and I don't see a counter, I just jump again and do the EX version for the forward A in order to reset the opponent in the air, so I can run under him and do the blowback into the ambiguous cross up.
Oh man, dude. Oh man, you shouldn't have said that. They're gonna unleash a whole world of hell. Who else have you seen other people doing that? I don't think I have.
No, I haven't seen anyone do it, because the only person that I've seen doing it is going to be myself, because it actually doesn't deal a lot of damage, and it's really fast. So if you're trying to counterpose something, you might miss it.
Ah, okay.
So I only use it when I'm sure that I landed a hit in the air. I just jump again, do the expression, and run under so I can get the cross up.
Oh man, that just sounds scary, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna release also those kind of texts when I release the Duolon video.
All right, cool. All right, why don't we talk about his forward B, and that's that little kick that comes from the ground, right?
Yeah, there's again, this is what we call the GPS. It comes out anywhere that you are in the screen. Even if you're jumping, it's gonna come out under you, but it's not gonna hit you. It only hits you if you're like on the ground or a couple of frames above the ground. Pixels, I mean. You cannot. It's not cancelable into anything except his desperation moves. It's not cancelable with his Rekkas or teleports. But if you're able to manage to get that hit, the forward B, in the corner, you can from there go crouching A into forward B again, then crouching A into forward B into standing A into forward A, and start a long string of combos from it. If you do forward B on the corner or point blank outside the corner, you can also combo with standing C.
Oh wow, sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And with that his kick or whatever, there's no way to try to hit that kick at all, right?
No, that one does count. Actually, it has a couple of properties, because it does count as a projectile, because you do get chip damage from it. But it also counts as a limb, because if Goro does his Neomax, you do get grabbed from it.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it has a couple of properties from either a special move or a command normal, or those are the only two, because it doesn't have any properties from a normal hit.
And you did mention that it can whiff on some crouches if they're like midair, like you said with
Uh,
Keen's Venom Strike, right?
yeah, yeah. It whiffs against any. I've actually whiffed it with was standing blowback because the standing blowback does put you at a aerial state. So it does hit it. It does miss against a couple of opponents that do some special moves in the air.
Okay. All right. Cool.
What I've seen around it, it it's just. Oh, also the only way that I can see around it is to jump it or to run. If you're walking, you're gonna get hit by the forward B. But if you run towards the opponent, it does take a little bit of time to come out. It is going to whiff. It does have a high recovery time, so you can run almost all the way from the other side of the screen in order to hit the opponent.
All right. Cool. And what's the difference between the normal version and the EX version of the 4B?
First of all, the startup time, it's about half the normal startup time. It hits jumping opponents. Also, not really jumping opponents, but characters that are a little bit off the ground. Now, this is the special property about this hit. If you are close to Duolon, the EX version is gonna throw you back with a soft knockdown, with an air juggle and a soft knockdown. But if you are at least the furthest range from his standing A and going to the into the back teleport into the EX version of the kick, it's gonna launch the opponent forward, where you can do the A version of the projectile into anything that you want.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I think I have seen or people use it against me as like a little reset. You know what I'm saying? Like as you said. So yeah, I think people have to be careful where they step, or it's gonna hit them.
Yeah, since it does have a quick startup time, any zoner is going to be afraid of Duolon as long as he has one stock.
Right.
And if you have two stocks, you can do the EX kick all the way from the other side of the screen and just quickly do the Desperation move, and it's going to grab the opponent.
Oh wow, that's crazy, man. Is there a way similar to the normal version that someone can evade it if they're in midair?
Well, if you're in midair and you're starting to bait it out, you can do any command normal or special move in the air if you have one, in order to remain a little bit more above the ground, or just don't fall into the ground that quick, and try to bait out the EX kick. If you're on the ground, you can just go ahead and try to bait it out and just roll or block it, which is going to be the best option.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Next, why don't we talk about the aerial version of the 4B? And I think this move is very annoying as well.
Yeah, the annoying part of it is that it comes out. It's practically the same speed that you would get from the normal forward B in the air. But the difference is that you're gonna get more stun guard stun, I mean, and more hit stun. So you're able to throw it out almost as soon as you jump, as soon as you hop, and still be able to confirm on the ground. It doesn't have any invincibility at all.
Right.
And the hit detection is going to be high and mid. So if you have a crouching opponent, so you can just do crouching B into crouching A to force the opponent to block low, and just quickly hop and do the EX version on the air. So you can go ahead and hit the opponent while he's crouching and be able to confirm on the ground.
Oh wow. So hit as overhead. Wow. That's
It is an overhead.
Right, man, and you can't evade this kick, at close range, or what kind of way someone can try to get away from it? Because I have trouble, someone just throwing it out, just
Yeah, for the normal front B,
Yeah.
the normal one. Uh, yeah, the only ways that I can see around it is to counter poke it. So in the same way that you would counter poke with Chen's crouching C, you need to counter poke that kick, or just do a neutral jump, not neutral hop, neutral jump and CD or something like that, or just try to pressure Duolon as much as you can so you don't get pressured.
Okay. So basically, it'll kind of count as one of the few like instant overheads in the game, correct?
Yeah, it does have a slow startup, uh, but it's just a fairly good overhead because if you throw it out as soon as you jump, you're not gonna get a ground confirm, but you're gonna be able to do the forward A into more pressure.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. All right. Next special move on the list is his quarter circle forward kick, and these are his forward teleports, correct?
Yeah, there's gonna be forward teleports. They don't have any invincibility, although I did use the strong version once against a against the EX version of Kensu's Fireball, and I was actually able to evade it with that. I don't know exactly how it happened. I'm still working on it, but I actually did the teleport before he did the EX. So I did the teleport, and I think that Duolon, what happens is that his body uh, in, gets a little bit shorter. So that might be why it missed the EX Fireball.
Okay.
They cross up the opponent. They're completely vulnerable to any physical damage or any physical hit, such as any normal or anything that doesn't count as a fireball. And actually vulnerable to any fireballs except for that instance that I just mentioned. Uh, they can be used just to travel the screen or to get away from pressure.
Okay. Cool. And it's um, a pretty useful tool in a lot of his mix-ups, right? 'Cause
Yeah, if you're hitting an airborne opponent, you can do the B version of the teleport in order to get right under him and start the cross ups from there.
all right. Cool. Can you share with us some information about the EX version of the teleport?
Yeah, the EX version of the front teleport is gonna be completely invincible. It travels shorter than the B version, uh, but it travels faster. So if you do even though it travels really fast, if you do a standing C into the EX teleport, you're not gonna get another standing C or crouching A as a combo. So you can pretty much see what speed that they're on with the EX teleport. But if you do a crushing A or standing C or standing blowback or any hit that you want and do a teleport, EX teleport, you're going to get to the other side where you can cross up the opponent. Also, it does have some recovery time, so you can bait it out and you can hit Duolon as hits recovering.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. That's good to know at least. All right.
Yeah. Also, there's a couple of tricks in with the Rekkas. In this case, the quarter circle forward P. I'm sorry, punch. If you do the third Rekka and go into this is only against Kim. If you try to evade with a EX, he can just do standing B and it's going to grab you with a full combo. So don't do it.
Okay. All right, cool. Why don't we talk about the quarter circle back kick, and that's his teleports going backwards.
Okay, the backward teleport is gonna be a little bit slower than the forward teleport, but the good property that he has is that if you do a back teleport, you can cancel into his forward B at any time that you want. You can either cancel before the startup, I'm sorry, before the start the animation, or cancel at the end of the animation. So it's pretty useful. You can do forward A. I'm sorry, standing C into forward A, into the back teleport, into forward B, into the desperation move.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Again, it doesn't carry any invincibility at all. As for the EX version,
Mhm.
it's basically the same properties as the forward one.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Why don't we go into his projectile, and that's quarter circle back uh, punch, and I like to call this move smoke.
Yeah, the little smoke that he has. Quarter circle back punch. It's actually about 20 frames, I think, for startup, something like that. Something really ridiculous. It has a pretty slow startup, but it's pretty useful, and it only travels like a length, like a third of the screen for the light version, and about halfway for the strong version. The strong version is gonna travel a little bit faster, but what happens is that if you try it out, you can run after it and use it as a shield. So if they try to hit you, they're gonna get hit by the smoke, and from there you can do like a EX desperation mode, and it's going to grab the opponent out of the air. I use it a lot with corner pressure. Just do crushing A, or any hit that you want into the smoke, the A version, and it's going to allow more pressure. If they don't predict the smoke, they're not going to be able to jump most of the time.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, as for his EX version, it's faster at startup. It does I think, like 5 hits. So you can get a pretty good combo after it. But the bad part of it is that it's going to scale the damage pretty significantly. So if you have an option to start or don't start the combo with it, I suggest that you just start with standing C or standing B.
Okay. Does the projectile go away if you hit Duolon somehow?
No, it does not go away. It is a standalone projectile. It is not like Rio's projectile, where it actually counts as a limb.
Yeah.
If you hit, if you're able to hit Rio when the projectile's out, it doesn't matter if the projectile is over you; it's not going to hit you. But this Duolon's, it's a standalone projectile, so you can just throw it out when you're away from the screen. I'm sorry, from far or mid range, and sometimes it's going to force the opponent to come after you in a frenzy. In this case, where you can just catch him with the first Rekka, and from there follow up with the third Rekka in order to get him overboard,
Right. Okay.
airborne.
And the projectile, it'll get eaten up by EX projectiles and super projectiles, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have any special durability, as you would see with some EX projectiles. This one can be taken away with a simple back forward with Ash, or any projectile that you can think of. I've seen that I throw out the projectile, and EX Yori, when he's about to get hit by it, he does a Rekka, the C version, and the projectile somehow goes under him. I still don't know how that works. I'm still trying to figure it out. So there's a couple of ways to get around it.
Okay. With the EX version of the projectile, if someone does a EX projectile, will they like clash, or will one of them beat out each other?
Depends on the projectile.
Okay.
It really depends, and I would suggest that advice actually that you start figuring out which projectiles are able to beat Duolon's and which is he's able to beat. Because say in this case, Terry's fierce projectile, actually I don't know what's the special property that he has, but it is able to beat some EX projectiles.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is. I think. Yeah, that is true, man. I have seen it just obliterate whatever comes near it.
Yeah, I haven't tried it against Desperation moves, but I'm about to try that in a couple of hours.
All right. Cool. 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 All right. Next we're gonna talk about his Rekkas, and yeah, you can go ahead and tell us what you know about his quarter circle forward punch 3 times in a row.
Yeah, that's basically Duolon's bread and butter. Uh, the first Rekka is not really punishable, but it is punishable only by moves that have like a 4-frame startup and are like that travel the screen really fast. But if you do it at a safe range, it is really difficult to punish it. You can delay the second and also the third Rekka uh, almost at the end of any any active frames. So you can do it like a little bit fussy, where you can do the first Rekka quick, the second Rekka quick, and just delay the third one. And if you see that they didn't get hit, you can just um, the third Rekka has the ability to do the forward teleport, either the normal or the EX version, for free. So you don't have to spend any drive on it. You do have to spend drive for the backward teleport, but not for the forward one. That this is on hit or on block, and it's only for the third hit. Each one of the hits can be special cancelable into the ghost or into the teleport or into the DM even. Uh, Basically, this is what you're gonna be using a lot. The Rekkas. You can combo off of them. Out of any normal that Duolon has, except in this case, as I mentioned before, the only normals that cannot be canceled are gonna be the low B, low D, and the standing the far D. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the palm, the standing C, it is the same animation as the in the close range and the far range, but I believe I'm pretty certain that the far one cannot be cancelled into anything. But again, talking about the Rekkas, when you do the third Rekka and cancel into the B teleport, you can do the EX Desperation move, and it's going to grab the opponent for free also. So it's going to be 3 Rekkas and the teleport, and from there you can do the Desperation move, the EX version. The normal version is not going to grab the opponent.
That sounds very easy.
Oh yeah, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty broken.
All right, cool. Any thoughts about the EX version of the Rekkas?
Yeah, the EX version. Let me talk a little bit more about the normal one.
Okay.
If you manage to grab the opponent out of the air with the first Rekka in the last active frames, you can just go ahead and do the raw EX Desperation move, and it's also going to grab the opponent. The first Rekka, it's a really good anti-air because it hits above Duolon's head. So just use it whenever you want to bait on a jump in, or because since it doesn't have a really long recovery time, it's practically safe to throw it out. If you do the first Rekka, it almost always the second Rekka is not going to hit, but if you do the third Rekka, it is going to launch the opponent upwards. So you can just hit the first one with the second one and hit the third one into the teleport, into the Desperation move. In this case, you can do the normal Desperation move because the first hit was in the air and the opponent's already in the air.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll also add that to the video.
Cool.
Now, About the EX versions, uh, well, the first property that we have is that it travels further than the normal one. Uh, the first hit, uh, first, second, and third hit can be canceled into any special move except a Desperation move for free. So in this case, if you do uh, the Rekka EX version, the second hit can be canceled for a Ghost an A version, and it's going to hit on a combo, allowing you to do standing B into forward A into the normal Rekka into the teleport into anything that you want. Uh, if there's an airborne opponent, the first Rekka is not going to hit. But if you empty cancel the first Rekka into the second Rekka does hit airborne opponents. So from there you can start a combo also.
Oh wow! All right, cool. All right. Anything else to say about the EX record?
The EX Rekkas, no, well, basically that's it. I'm going to give you a couple of links for videos on how to use the EX Rekkas consistently in order to don't not misuse any stocks that you have.
All right, cool. All right, why don't we talk about the his desperation move, which is his quarter circle back, half circle forward punch.
Okay, completely invincible to any high or mid profile hits, and can only be challenged by low hits. Now, this is a property that his DM has. It does 2 hits, but the first hit does 0 damage. Only the second hit is going to deal the actual damage for the desperation move. Now, my theory about this is that they did this so if you challenge the desperation move with any low hit, you're obviously going to trade, but you're not going to get any damage off of your DM.
Okay.
Any Neomax or desperation move that can be considered as a projectile are not going to hit Duolon when he's doing the desperation move or the EX desperation move.
Oh wow. Okay, so he'll just go under it or whatever. He'll just
Yeah, or if you do the Iori's one, it's still gonna go through it.
oh wow.
Yeah, the other thing is that his normal DM, his one stock, it's going to come out at the startup. It's slow, but the recovery time is a little bit faster than the EX desperation move. Although the EX desperation move does have faster startup, but it has slower recovery.
Okay. All right, cool. Anything else to say about the EX version?
The EX version, well, they both can be canceled into his Neomax, and the EX version, as opposed as the normal version, it's completely invincible to any hit detection. Say high, mid, low, or projectiles, and it does more hits than the normal one.
Okay, cool. All right, nice. All right, why don't we talk about his Neomax, and that's double half circle back, heavy. Oh, excuse me, light punch, heavy punch.
Yeah, it's back forward, and the property that it has is that it's gonna be a grab, or yeah, it counts as a one frame grab, I think. Let me just be sure about that. Yeah, it's gonna be a grab, instant grab, so it's gonna be the same as Clark or anything like that. You have to be really close to the opponent in order to land it, because if you're a couple of pixels off, you're only gonna waste the Neomax or the 2 stocks or the 2 tries that you're gonna use. So I would advise that you only use it at the end of a combo, because if you use it early in a combo, it's not really useful, because it's really more useful if you do a complete combo, because it's going to scale the damage, even though you do the Neo Max raw,
Hmm?
it's still better to do it in between a combo or at the end of the combo.
Okay.
Also, he goes flat and invincible all throughout. If he misses the Neomax, he's gonna be invincible right until he appears once again.
Oh wow. Okay.
Also, I've seen this done. I haven't done it myself, but at the end of the Neomax, you can do a crouching C, and it's going to hit the opponent.
Oh really? On the ground? Right.
Yeah.
Oh okay. That's
Also,
interesting.
yeah, but what is always 100% that it's going to hit is going to be the EX or the forward AC, the EX poke. It is going to hit the opponent out of the air.
Okay. Cool.
Also, there's a glitch with Duolon. First, I'm going to talk about the Neomax glitch against Billy. If Billy does his quarter circle forward A or C, you can do the EX desperation move, and it's going to grab Billy from the stick, but it's not going to hit him. Duolon is just going to do the desperation move at the other side of the screen. But if you manage to cancel the desperation move for the Neomax, it's going to grab Billy all the way from the other side of the screen.
Oh wow. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, that's one. And the other one is universal. If you do the EX Rekkas and cancel for a Neomax, it is not going to take. Well, you need to be in HD mode for this. You do one or two Rekkas into Neomax, and you are going to lose the three stocks, but you're still going to have the meter, the drive meter. So that's only useful if you want to apply a little bit of pressure with the drive, or if you just want to look fancy for a moment.
All right. Cool. All right then. I think that's it for his move list.
Yep.
Why don't we talk about just some very simple kind of bread and butters to kind of get a beginner player started? You know, just something real simple and basic.
Okay, as I was mentioning, well, any of the combos that I list, you can either start with a jump in or with a close hit. In this case, we're going to start with standing C into forward A. Well, actually, we're going to start with the crouching A, which is going to be your main starter with Duolon. You can do crouching A into forward B. I'm sorry, into crouching A into forward A, into the three Rekkas, into the low teleport, the low front teleport, into standing C. Now, it can be into standing C or into the EX desperation move. Either one is going to hit always, so don't worry about that. That's it for his Rekka bread and butter. Would be the three Rekkas that teleport into something. In this case, what I would advise would be the standing C, standing D, or EX desperation move. Now, I list both standing C and standing D because you are going to get a different result with each one. If you do standing C at the end of the teleport and into one Rekka, the opponent's going to land. But if you try to do a crouching A, you're not going to get the hit or the block because the opponent's going to be far away. But again, after the teleport, if you do standing D into the Rekka, remember that the standing D is going to drive you forward. So it's going to be standing D into Rekka, into pressure for the crouching A. So it's advisable to do the Rekka. I'm sorry, the standing D after the teleport if you want to apply more pressure.
Okay.
It's a difference of about, I don't know, like 5 pixels or something like that. Something really ridiculous, but it does make the difference whether you are going to make the opponent block the crouching A or if it's going to whiff the crouching A.
All right, cool. Any other ones?
Yeah, that's for his Rekka combos. Uh, the other one that I like to use is gonna be three uh, crouching A's into his forward A. From there, you need to cancel into his backward teleport, the normal version, and cancel the teleport with the EX kick, the one that comes out of the ground. And that exact distance will launch the opponent towards Duolon, where you can do the a ghost, the A version, and from there do the desperation move, either the normal or the EX one. Uh, or instead of doing the desperation move, you can do forward A into the B teleport, the front teleport, and it's going to end up on the other side of of the opponent's guard. In this case, if you started in the left side, you're gonna end up in the right side at point blank in the opponent.
Hmm.
Uh, and his other combos, to be honest, those are gonna be execution execution wise actually, because they need to be in the corner. Most of them use the ghost as a combo finishers or extensions. You really need to get the hang of the standard combos first in order to be able to do those combos. One other combo that I would like to add would be the one in the corner. If you do crouching A, you can combo into forward B. From there, crouching A again into forward B, into standing A, into forward A, into his Rekkas, and you are going to get that combo.
Okay. Cool.
It's a meterless combo that does it about almost 210 damage or something like that.
Okay. Cool. All right. Why don't we talk about his HD combos? And you expressed that the damage on them are pretty low. So should anyone try to do these, or are there any kind of like benefits to his HD combos?
Okay, I would suggest his HD combos don't do a lot of damage unless you're planning to do the optimized one, the one that I posted on the wiki page that you can read it up. Uh, I'm not gonna get into that combo right now. You can just go ahead and read it up on the page, but it involves a lot of links that is gonna be optimized. It gives you about 60% damage with the HD bar only. But uh, it's really difficult to do. So just go ahead and practice it, and don't do it tournament wise or anything like that. I don't want to get sued or anything. Uh, but yeah, his combos rely really strongly. Again, since I mentioned that he doesn't have a lot of moves that he can use on a combo, he but there's a special property, as we were talking about the forward A. It does count as a special move. In this case, also, because any other command normal, you can't do any special move and cancel into a command normal. But you can do it with Duolon. You can do his Rekka, the first, second, or third Rekka, and cancel into his forward A or forward B. So this is the only extensions that you're gonna get mid-screen. It's gonna be Rekka and the second Rekka, and you can cancel that into his forward A, into two Rekkas, into forward A, into two Rekkas, into forward A, on as long as you have the HD bar active, and from there you can use any finisher. In this case, the three Rekkas into the teleport into the desperation move, the EX version, or you can cancel into his Neomax if you still have the HD bar. But to be honest, his HD combos are pretty straightforward.
Okay, cool.
Also, don't do the HD combo if you're not going to kill, because since it doesn't deal a lot of damage, it's still gonna build up a lot of stock and a lot of drive for the opponent.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Um, yeah, Also, his optimized combos for zero drive combos, they do require one stock. Are just gonna be a couple of shorts or any close hit that you want into his Rekkas, the EX version. And the second Rekka, you need to cancel it for the Ghost, the A version. And from there, you can just go crouching A, forward A into his Rekkas. Remember, the first Rekka is going to whiff. So do the second Rekka really quick so you can get the combo. If you are experienced enough with Duolon, after the Ghost, instead of doing the low short, you can do the standing D, so you can get the full combo out of it.
All right, cool, man. All right, thanks for sharing those combos and those tips, man. That sounds pretty
My
good.
pleasure, man.
Cool. All right, well, why don't we go into some light strategy and tactics, and within it, you can also provide any more kind of mix-ups and tech if you want. But why don't you start from far range and then go to mid range to close to cornered?
Okay, far range. Duolon's Rekkas don't build a lot of meter, and that's the only move that he has for building meter outside of physical damages. Uh, so you're not gonna build a lot of meter while you're in far range, unless you want to risk a couple of Rekkas. What I usually do is if I'm in far range, it's because I'm winning. Because Duolon, in order to deal damage, he has to be close range or mid range at least. So if you're in far range, just throw out Ghost as much as you can. In this case, I usually throw out the heavy version because it travels longer and it forces the opponent to come at you a little bit quicker than he would do without you throwing out the Ghost. Also, do the forward B. That's the kick that comes out of the ground. Do it as often as you like, as long as you know he has a character that's not able to punish you from far range. That's the only thing that I can say about the Duolon's far range.
Okay. All right, cool. Cause yeah, far range. Sometimes I just expect people just doing the 4B.
Yeah, you usually do that, or the Ghost in order to incite any reaction.
All right, cool. And yeah, you can go ahead and talk about mid range.
Yeah, his mid range consists heavily on his forward A little poke that he has. So you can just do forward. I usually do this against, say, Yori. Do forward A into the A version of the Ghost. It gives me enough time to recover, and even if he hops as soon as he recovers from the guard stun, I can always do the crouching C and challenge it because I'm always gonna land a counter hit, which deals about 80 damage or 80 or 90 damage, something like that. And he's only gonna deal 70 damage to me, so I always come out winning in that exchange. I usually do that against most characters that I know are not able to punish me.
Okay.
Yeah, some characters like say Kyo 13th. I don't use it against him when he has meter because he can just do the reverse DP that's completely invincible. It's gonna run right over a Duolon. Or his EX Desperation move also is going to challenge it. So don't do it against those type of characters that have a way of punishing you at that moment.
Okay.
His other tool for mid range would be his neutral jump forward B, which is going to cover that whole vertical range, and it's going to cover a lot of the horizontal range. That's going to be for his forward B and forward A. What else? I had something else in mind for the mid range. Oh yeah. Also, what I'd like to do is forward A into his Rekka, the first one. it's going to allow me to recover uh, just as the opponent's recovering from the guard stun, and leave me in the same exact range that I had before. Because since I'm going to push the opponent with the forward A, I'm still going to gain ground with the first Rekka.
Okay.
Also, what I like to do is do standing blowback and empty cancel it, or how we call it, the Kara cancel. Empty cancel the blowback into his Rekka, which is going to cover a pretty good amount of ground, which is going to force the opponent to guard.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Okay. Also, one other trick that you might have is just jump with the neutral hop with the forward B or forward A. It's not going to hit the opponent, but it's going to leave him at guard stun most of the time, because their guard animation comes out even if they don't hit. So it's going to leave them at guard stun, where you can run and grab them, and from there start the ambiguous cross-ups.
Oh wow, that's crazy. But it'll lose if they know you're gonna do that, and they might alternate guard, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right, cool. Just checking.
Yeah, they can do the I don't know what they call it, the chicken guard. Yeah, chicken guarding. They basically use it or when they just go.
Chicken guard is when they go like from high to low blocking or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's alternate guard pretty much. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the chicken guarding, they use that term in the marble scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but alternate guard is gonna be in the KOF.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. All right, well, why don't you break down some close range tactics along with some cool pokes to use and some block strings and whatnot.
Okay, the low hit, the low crushing A deals about 7%, I think. Deals about 7% of guard damage, and you can get 3 of those at a time. So anytime that you're able, just go ahead and run and do the three crouches, and it's going to leave you at an advantage of 4 frames, where you can run again and just start doing the crouching ace. Just don't do it a lot, because you are going to get challenged by something that it's going to hurt more than your crouching A. Also, as I mentioned before, with Duolon's Ghost, you can just go ahead and do standing C, crouching A, or standing B into the A version of the Ghost, and from there start running again for more pressure. But if you're predictable, they are going to jump over the Ghost, and you are going to get punished. Also, what I do is, if you ever get a knockdown, just go ahead and do the cross-up that I mentioned before with the standing CD. That's going to be your main tool with Duolon. Anytime that you're able, go ahead and do the Rekkas into the low teleport. Most characters are not going to be able to punish you without spending meter. So either you can use it to force them to spend the meter, or you can just go ahead and keep doing it while they don't have any stocks. If you run into a character that has a 1-frame command grab, they are going to grab you out of that teleport. If they do a reverse motion for the grab. Now, if you do the 3 Rekkas and do the V version or the heavy version of the teleport, you can get punished almost by any character. Any character is gonna be able to grab you with a normal throw, or with any hit that's fast enough. Now, I was mentioning with against Kim. If you do the 3 Rekkas and do the B teleport, which is normally safe, Kim can do the EX Moon Slicer, as I call it. That's the curve circle back B with D.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna be able to punish you with that. But if you do the EX version of the teleport, you're not gonna get punished by that move. But if they already know that, which most Kim players don't, uh, if you do the EX teleport because you're afraid you're gonna get punished, you can just do a standing B. It's gonna get a far standing B into standing C into any big combo. So if you're running to any characters that are able to punish your your light teleport, just go ahead and do an EX version, and that's going to get around most of the things that are able to punish you.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Again, it doesn't get around Mr. Karate's Desperation move, I think, and other EX Desperation moves that have like a 4 or 5 frame startup.
Okay. All right. Cool, man. What options does Duolon have when he's cornered, or what should someone do if they just really want to get out the corner?
Okay, if you're getting pressured by something predictable, you can go ahead and do a EX Desperation move if you have the meter. If you only have one stock, you can get out of it with an EX teleport, which is completely invincible, but they can bait it out again, so be careful about that. Also, what you can do, this doesn't come out really fast, but you can do a standing A, which is a very good poke for anti-hops. If you want to anti-air, you're better off just running forward to evade any jumping, or jump back with the blowback. But again, remember that every character and every player out there has a limited set of moves that they can do for pressure. Sooner or later, their patterns are going to get holes in them where you can take advantage and just go ahead and evade or do something yourself that is going to turn the pressure around.
Okay. All right. Cool, man. All right. Why don't we go into some very, very light matchup discussion, man? What character do you feel that Duolon struggles against, or types of characters that you may think of?
I struggled against King, mostly because of her Venom Strike, and for the slide. The Venom Strike is gonna get over the air Venom Strike. It gets over Duolon's Ghost, but it can still hit Duolon in the head. So that's a pretty bad matchup. Also, if you do the Venom Strike on the ground, King is going to be airborne, so the standing A is not going to be able to hit her, and she's going to get the Venom Strike for free. So, and also the slide goes under Duolon's forward A. So I've seen King as one of the worst matchups that I've had for Duolon. Duolon works really great against characters that don't have any DPs or any invincible moves, such as Clark or Goro, Rolf, or even against Wa. I consider against Wa a pretty good matchup because his DP is really slow. So you can safe jump against Wajai, but just be careful against the forward A, because if he does a standing B, he's going to win almost every time, which is going to deal like 98 damage or 100 damage.
Okay, cool, man. Why don't we get your thoughts on team position for Duolon? What slot is he best put in, do you feel?
Okay, Duolon, I recommend almost on any team actually to run Duolon first, because if they don't have meter, it's unlikely they're going to be able to get out of the pressure for the Rekkas and the teleport. Also, if it's going to build meter for the second character, because Duolon doesn't actually need any drive. He can get along just fine by doing EX Rekka combos into the Ghost into normal Rekkas. That deals about 33% damage, I think. So almost a little bit above a quarter of your life. It's not going to deal the 33%. I don't think so. Uh, the team position, again, I would recommend to run him first.
Okay.
If you run him second, you're since he doesn't do a lot of damage with an HD combo, it doesn't really serve a purpose for the first character to build up meter for him.
Okay.
The only other position that I would consider Duolon for would be only if you're trying to counterpick. Only in that instance, I would suggest that you move the Duolon out to second or anchor.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Why don't we talk about some notable Duolon players that a new Duolon player should try to research on YouTube or any other video hosting site.
Uh, well, most noticeable is going to be obviously the winner of last year's Evo. It's going to be FKOF. Yeah, he has a pretty beastly Duolon. The other ones that I've seen is going to be myself. I played Duolon as one of my first characters.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started with Duolon when I grabbed 13th. The other one is another guy here from Mexico City. His name's Tavera. You can also look him up as. Just one moment. Let me just get that info for you for Tavera. In the meantime,
Yeah, can you spell it out?
Yeah, it's gonna be Tavara.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry, Tavera.
Oh, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, you can look it up as Cheetos.
Oh yeah, Cheetos Game.
Yeah, Cheetos Games.
Yeah, I like that channel.
Cheetos Games, and you can look for Tavera. He's not from Cheetos Games, but you're gonna be able to find them as a reference.
All right, cool, man. All right, all right. Why don't we close things out, and why don't you just recap a little bit and share with us some general do's and don'ts when trying to learn Duolon?
Okay, Duolon. Well, the do's, you can abuse the Rekkas as long as you know you're not going to get punished by that character, or you can go ahead and do it deliberately and force them to spend the meter, so you don't have to deal with any Neo Max HD combos, which I usually do that actually. I force them to spend 1 or 2 bars that way. So if they do land a hit, the only thing that they're going to do is deal about 50% damage and build a lot of stock and meter for me. Abuse the smokes when you're in far range. Most of the players that I played do get psyched by the smoke and try to go all out and try to prevent me from throwing out the smoke. I don't really know why, because it doesn't build any meter. Remember that the forward B does do chip damage. So go ahead and throw it out if you want to chip out the opponent. The don'ts would be to don't overuse the stretched limb, the forward A, either in the air or on the ground, because it does have a huge hurt box, which they can use to bait out and go ahead and drain your life bit by bit. Also, if you want to get out of the corner, remember that the EX teleport is completely invincible, but it does have some recovery time, so they can bait it out and go ahead and throw you to the corner again with even more damage. Get used to the speed of the Rekkas. You don't have to match it. You can take your time to confirm them. Duolon's a pretty versatile character where you can if you do one Rekka and you hit, you can go ahead and take your time to confirm. And if it doesn't hit, and you know that he can punish you if you teleport or if you do the second Rekka, go ahead and leave it at that at one Rekka and keep up the pressure from the same side. But go ahead and try Duolon. He's a pretty awesome character. Everybody thought he was low tier. I started using Duolon because I like versatile characters such as Duolon, Wa, and Shin. Those are the three ones that I use because they do have a lot of ways to open up the opponent. Well, in this case, he is considered broken, so I'm not gonna talk about him right now. I don't really know how they consider Shin, if he might be broken or not. But I do consider that Shin has a lot of defects that characters can take advantage of. But talking about Duolon, take use of his speed. Make sure that you don't get cornered. If you are going to get cornered, make sure that you have a stock in order to get out of it. And basically that should be it.
All right, cool, man. Thank you so much for sharing all this stuff, dude. It's quite a pleasure, man, hearing all this good information.
No, same here. I really do appreciate the opportunity to be able to share all the information that I have because sometimes YouTube videos are just not enough.
Right. All right, cool, man. All right, well, I think that's about it for this episode. We just finished talking about Duolon for the KOF 13 character series, and that's about it. And we will see you later. Peace.